Here, fantasy owners, LTC Fantasy here. Not sure if you're streaming the episode, watching via YouTube or listening via podcast, but really do appreciate it no matter how you're streaming it. Before we get started, do want to mention we have partnered up with 247clash.com. Link is down in the description there. It's basically a pools type player versus player fantasy type game where it's pretty much made winnable for anyone there. It's fun and easy to play, and if you do go to www.247clash.com, you'll see a how to play link at the top of the homepage. It's a quick 50-second video that explains the game a little bit better than I can here. And if you do decide to sign up, do use referral code LTC, as that will help us out behind the scenes. Hopefully you start winning some cash, and do note it is for Canadian residents only at this time. Might change in the future, but for right now it is for Canadian residents only. So today's our week 24 weekend ads episode. So we're going to look at this weekend schedule, break it down to suggest players, hopefully help strengthen your roster as you make that push to get into championship week there. Some things to note this weekend, should say. Friday, there's 4 games. Saturday, 13 games, so really heavy on Saturday. Sunday's fairly heavy as well at 9 games, but a little bit lighter, obviously, than Saturday there. So we will focus on Friday and Sunday, as those are the lightest nights, but we will also cover Saturday teams that do play either Friday, Saturday, and Saturday, Sunday. That way, if you do pick up a player that plays on Saturday, you're getting a couple games out of them this weekend. So we will start by covering Washington first, as they play Sunday only this weekend. Then we will cover 5 teams that play Friday and Sunday. That's probably where there's the most wiggle room on your roster, and you get both of the lighter nights, even though Sunday's a little bit heavier. Then we will cover 3 teams that do play Friday and Saturday. And if you're behind in your match after Friday there, don't worry. We're going to finish off by covering 12 teams that play Saturday and Sunday. Hopefully give you that little extra push and get you into championship week here. So basically we'll get right into it. Some Washington options. Again, these guys are only playing Sunday only. On the back end, possibly look at Rasmus Sandin, owned in 45% of Yahoo leagues, plays second pairing, second power play unit. And he has 12 points his last 11 games, 4 of those being on the power play, 19 hits in those 11 games. Carlson back obviously does hurt his value there, but he's still getting opportunity playing second pairing and second power play. So in a pinch, it could work out for you. Up front for Washington, maybe look at Dylan Strome, listed as center right winger, owned in 34% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit, and he has 17 points in just the last 11 games there. In those 11 games, he's +7, 5 power play points, also 26 shots on goal. He's pretty much on an absolute tear there, and a must-add on Sunday if he is available. Last one is Tom Wilson, listed as a right winger, owned in 41% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing top line on the second power play unit, and he has 6 points his last 6 games. A couple of those points being on the power play. Also has 18 shots on goal, 15 hits, and 10 blocks in those 6 games. He has good cats overall for the last bit here anyways. Should be a good streamer on Sunday for you. Before we do get into the next section, do want to ask, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so, as we're trying to get the word out, hopefully help grow this channel. If you're listening via podcast, give us a 5-star review, because that helps suggest this podcast to other potential listeners there. Hopefully help get the word out that way as well. So now we'll move along to some Demon that play both Friday and Sunday. Start off in Calgary, look at Noah Hanifin, owned in 57% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the top pairing right now. He has 6 points his last 8 games, and in those 8 games also has 17 shots on goal and 11 blocks on there. He's been a bit hit or miss this season, but better lately, so he could help with having the lighter nights this weekend. For the Rangers, maybe look at Keandre Miller, owned in 50% of Yahoo leagues, now listed as being on the top pairing. He has 7 points his last 7 games, and in those 7 games, he's +8. Also has 13 hits and 9 blocks in those 7 games. He can be streaky, but he can help you out in other categories there, so he could be an alright option for you if he is available this weekend. Over in Vancouver, look at Philip Perron, owned in 44% of Yahoo leagues, listed as being on the third pairing there, but he's playing a lot of minutes. He had one point his last 3 games with 5 hits and 3 blocks in there. He's a little risky, but again, he is playing a ton since joining Vancouver. He's had 24, 23 minutes a game average right now and could work in your favor this weekend. Last one's over in Winnipeg. Maybe look at Neil Pionk, owned in 43% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing, second power play unit for the Jets there. He has 4 points his last 5 games, one of those being on the power play. Also thrown 10 hits and 6 blocks in those 5 games. He's obviously been a down year for Pionk overall, but he's been a lot better recently, so he might be an okay option this weekend. Now we'll move along to some forwards that play both Friday and Sunday. Start off in Detroit. Possibly look at David Perron, listed as a right winger, owned in 42% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, top power play unit, and he has 3 points the last 4 games with 4 hits in those 4 games. He has been streaky lately, so there is some risk involved, but could be an okay option in some formats. Another one in Detroit is Alex Chason, listed as a right winger, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, playing third line up on the top power play unit, and he has 7 points the last 9 games, 5 of those 7 points being on the power play. He's overall, since signing with them, he's had decent production, especially on that power play with limited minutes as well. So he'll be a good streamer in your deeper scoring leagues. Another one in Detroit is Lucas Raymond, listed as a right winger, owned in 35% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit, and he has 5 points the last 7 games, 3 of those being on the power play, also 15 shots on goal there. It's been an off year for Raymond's standards, especially how his rookie season went, but he does have offensive upside, so he may be worth a roll of the dice this weekend. For the Rangers, maybe look at Philip Chittle, listed as center right winger, owned in 15% of Yahoo leagues, plays third line, second power play unit for the Rangers. He has 4 points his last 5 games, and in those 5 games also +5, 15 shots on goal. He was really cold after that super hot streak there, but he's been better the last little bit. Could turn out to be an okay streamer in your deeper leagues. Another one for the Rangers is Capo Caco, listed as a right winger, owned in 4% of Yahoo leagues. He plays third line, and he has 4 points his last 4 games, and +6 in those 4 games as well. Similar to Chittle, he's cold, but he's been better recently, so he might work out in your deeper scoring leagues. For Vancouver, maybe look at Andrei Kuzmenko, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 63% of Yahoo leagues, plays top line, top power play unit, and he has 12 points the last 12 games, and of those 12 points, 4 have been on the power play. With Kuzmenko, he keeps getting points, like he doesn't stop scoring, so he's basically a must stream if he is available in your leagues. Another one to possibly look at in Vancouver is Conor Garland, listed as left winger, right winger, only owned in 9% of Yahoo leagues. He plays third line, second power play unit, and he has 6 points his last 9 games. One of those 6 points being on the power play, 16 shots on goal. He's been streaky, but overall he'll be a not bad option in your deeper scoring leagues. For the Jets, maybe look at Adam Lowry, listed as a center, owned in 7% of Yahoo leagues. Plays third line for the Jets. He has 4 points his last 5 games and 5 hits in there. He's been not bad the last week and a bit here, so he could be an okay option in your real deep leagues. Another one for the Jets is Nino Niederreiter, listed as a left winger, owned in 25% of Yahoo leagues. Plays top line, top power play unit. He had only 1 point his last 6 games, but he had points in 6 straight games previously, so he's been cooled off after a hot start with the Jets there, but he does get opportunity and should turn out to be a decent option this weekend. Now we'll move along to some defensemen that play both Friday and Saturday. Start off in Arizona. Look at Juuso Välimäki, owned in 28% of Yahoo leagues, plays top pairing, top power play unit for the Coyotes. He has 8 points his last 9 games, and in those 9 games, he has 19 shots on goal and 17 blocks there. Has been a little bit hit or miss, but overall decent numbers since the deadline, and should be an okay streaming option. Another one in Arizona is maybe look at J.J. Moser. Owned in 8% of Yahoo leagues, plays second pairing, second power play unit. He has 3 points the last 6 games, so half point per game. But in those 6 games, he's +4. One of those points being on the power play. Also has thrown 10 hits and 23 blocks there. He gets you a bit of offense, really nice amount of blocks there, throws in some hits there, so he could help you out in some formats. Over in Dallas, maybe look at Ryan Suter. Only owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues, plays second pairing, second power play unit. The old vet, he's put up 7 points the last 9 games. He's been on a small roll here, so there definitely is a little bit risky, but he could work out for you in deeper formats. Now we'll move along to some forwards that play both Friday and Saturday. Start off in Arizona. Look at Nick Schmaltz, listed as center right winger, owned in 44% of Yahoo leagues. Plays top line, top power play unit. He has 8 points in the midst of a 6-game point streak there. And in these 6 games, he's +8. Has a point on the power play, also 13 shots on goal. He's been very consistent when in the lineup there. He's had a few injuries there, but be an excellent streamer in your scoring leagues. Another one for Arizona is Barrett Hayton, listed as a center, owned in 47% of Yahoo leagues. He plays top line, top power play unit, and he has 16 points in just the last 12 games, +11. 5 of those points being on the power play, 33 shots on goal. What else can you say? The kid's been on an absolute tear this last month or so here, and almost a must stream if he is available. Another one in Arizona is Matias Michelli, listed as a left winger, owned in 7% of Yahoo leagues, plays second line, second power play unit, and he has 12 points the last 12 games. A couple of those points coming on the power play. He's been on a solid run here, and he'll be a good option in your deeper scoring leagues. Over in Buffalo, maybe look at Dylan Cousins, listed as a center, owned in 59% of Yahoo leagues, plays second line for the Sabres, top power play unit, and he has 4 points the last 4 games with 12 shots on goal. He seems to maybe be heating up again. He had a really nice stretch in the season there, so he should be a decent streamer if he is available. Another one in Buffalo is J.J. Peterka, listed as left winger, right winger, only owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, plays second line, second power play unit. He's put up 9 points the last 9 games, one of those being on the power play, also 18 shots on goal. He's been good the last little while and should be a solid streamer in your deeper leagues. Over in Dallas, possibly look at Wyatt Johnston, listed as a center, owned in 6% of Yahoo leagues, plays second line, second power play unit. He's put up 9 points the last 12 games, and in those 12 games, he has 29 shots on goal, also 7 blocks in 9 games. Pretty nice blocks for a forward there. It's been solid the last little bit here and should be a nice streamer in your deeper leagues. Finish it off with some, moving along to some Demon that plays Saturday and Sunday. Start off in Anaheim, look at Cam Fowler, owned in 21% of Yahoo leagues, plays top pairing, top power play unit, and he's put up 8 points the last 12 games, and in those 12 games has 21 shots on goal and 18 blocks. It's been a little up and down, but overall his offensive numbers are okay, so should be an alright gamble for you if you take the risk. Over in Columbus, look at Adam Boquist, owned in 7% of Yahoo leagues, playing top pairing, top power play unit, and he has 4 points the last 5 games, couple those being on the power play, 13 shots on goal. He is a little streaky, but he definitely gets opportunity in Columbus. He should be an alright streamer in your scoring leagues. Over in LA, look at Mikey Anderson, owned in 7% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the top pairing. He's put up 6 points the last 9 games, so nice little run for him. In those 9 games, also +7, has 18 hits and 15 blocks in those 9 games. He's getting some offense of late. Don't necessarily count on it because he's not known for his offense. Definitely gets you your hits and blocks, so he could be a good streamer in certain formats there. Next one, Sean Dursey, owned in 25% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing, second power play unit. He has 2 points in his return game. I'm recording this on Tuesday. I do know he did score already in the game. That game's still in the first period against Calgary there. And do remember, he has offensive upside, obviously, and should be a good option for you this weekend. Over in New Jersey, maybe look at Damon Severson, owned in 21% of Yahoo leagues, playing third pairing, second power play unit. He's put up 8 points the last 11 games, one of those being on the power play, also 17 blocks in those 11 games. It's been okay the last while here and could be an alright streamer in your deeper leagues. Over for the Islanders, maybe look at Ryan Pulock, owned in 22% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing, second power play unit. He's put up 4 points the last 7 games, one of those being on the power play. Also in those 7 games, 13 shots on goal, 15 hits, and 13 blocks. With Pulock this season, offense has been really sporadic, but could help in a deep Cats league. Another one for the Islanders, maybe Scott Mayfield, owned in 4% of Yahoo leagues, playing top pairing. He has 4 points the last 5 games, and in those 5 games has 7 hits and 9 blocks. With him, he's real hit or miss offensively, but he's on a small run right now, so he might work out in your really deep formats there. Over in Ottawa, maybe look at Travis Hamonic, owned in 7% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing. He has 7 points the last 8 games, not listed as being on the power play, but one of those points was on the power play. 22 shots on goal, 13 hits, and 18 blocks in those 8 games. Little surge of offense right now, which is a little bit surprising with him, but he might be worth a gamble in a deeper Cats league. Over in Philly, maybe look at Tony DeAngelo, owned in 53% of Yahoo leagues, playing third pairing, top power play unit, and he has 5 points the last 5 games. And in those 5 games, he's +5, couple points on the power play, 9 shots on goal, and 5 blocks in there. It's been an up and down year right now, but he's seems to be on the upswing, so he could work if he is available. Next one is Pierre-Olivier Joseph, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the top pairing second power play unit, and he has 3 points the last 4 games. He's on a small roll right now as the blue line is banged up. Did see Petrie is back, so not sure how he's slotted for this game because Petrie was supposed to be a game time decision. But in a real deep league, he might be a streaming option for you. And the last one's over in St. Louis. Possibly look at Torrey Krug, owned in 47% of Yahoo leagues, playing third pairing, second power play unit, and he has 6 points the last 6 games. And in those 6 games, he's +5, has a couple of power play points and 6 blocks in there. Been a down year for Krug, but he's been better of late, so he could turn out to be a nice streamer if he is available. Finish it off with some forwards that play both Saturday and Sunday. Over in Anaheim, look at Troy Terry, listed as a right winger, only owned in 53% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit, and he has 8 points the last 7 games. And in those 7 games, he's +5, also has 15 shots on goal. Right now, he is listed day-to-day with a personal matter. Not sure how long that keeps him out of the lineup, but he has been hot, so if he is back, he'd be a great streamer if he is available. Over in Boston, maybe look at David Krejci, listed as a center, only owned in 29% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit, and he has 6 points the last 11 games, and in those 11 games has 21 shots on goal. He's cooled off as Boston's kind of coasting into the playoffs here, but he has had a good season, and Boston should ramp it up, so it might be okay by this weekend. Over in Carolina, look at Jesperi Kotkaniemi, listed as center left winger, owned in 12% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit, and he has 6 points his last 7 games, and in those 7 games also throwing the body, 13 hits in there. He's been okay these last couple of weeks here, and could help in some formats. Over in Columbus, look at Boone Jenner, listed as a center, owned in 40% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit, and he has 7 points the last 8 games. And in those 8 games, a couple of those points being on the power play, also has 23 shots on goal, 11 hits, and 6 blocks. He has good Cats other than plus-minus, as you'll find out in Columbus there, so he should be a solid streaming option for you this weekend. Another one in Columbus is Jack Roslovich, listed as a center, owned in 5% of Yahoo leagues. He plays second line, top power play unit. He's put up 5 points the last 3 games, a couple of those being on the power play, 7 shots on goal. With Roslovich is very hot and cold there. So you're either going to love him or hate him, but he seems to be hot right now. Definitely is a gamble, but might be worth taking a chance on. Another one in Columbus is Kent Johnson, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 6% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing on the second line, second power play unit, and he has 9 points the last 9 games, 4 of those 9 points being on the power play. He's been good for a few weeks here, and he should be an okay streamer in your scoring leagues especially. Another one in Columbus is Emo Bemstrom, listed as left winger, right winger. Available everywhere. 0% owned, but plays on the third line, second power play unit. He has 4 points the last 5 games, one of those being on the power play. Also has 14 shots on goal and 4 blocks in those 5 games. He's on a small role right now. He kind of reappears and disappears, but he could work in a real deep league. Have to stress, real deep league. Over in LA, maybe look at Quinton Byfield, listed as a center, only owned in 3% of Yahoo leagues. Plays top line, second power play unit for the Kings, and he has 9 points his last 12 games, plus 10 in those 12 games, 22 shots on goal and 16 hits. He's been fairly steady and should be an alright streamer in your deeper leagues. Next one is Victor Arvidsson in LA, listed as left winger, right winger, up to 31% owned, playing second line, second power play unit for the Kings, and he has 9 points the last 6 games. 5 of those being on the power play. Loves being up on the top unit there. 26 shots on goal. As I alluded to, he's on an absolute heater. He's up on the top power play unit and should be an excellent streamer for you this weekend. Next one in LA is Philippe Dagnon, listed as a center, owned in 28% of Yahoo leagues, plays second line, second power play unit, and he has 10 points his last 9 games. And of those 10 points, 4 have come on the power play, also has 22 shots on goal and 8 blocks in those 9 games. He's been solid and should be a nice streaming option for you in a Cats league. Over in New Jersey, possibly look at Dawson Mercer, listed as center right winger, owned in 56% of Yahoo leagues, plays second line, top power play unit, and he only has 2 points the last 9 games, but before that, remember, he put up 20 points over a 12-game period. He has cooled, but he's still getting opportunity there and could be an alright streamer if he is available. Next one, going over to the Islanders, look at Kyle Palmieri, listed as a right winger, owned in 4% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, top power play unit, and he has 10 points his last 6 games. And in those 6 games, he's plus 5, couple power play points, also fired 15 pucks on net, and also thrown 7 hits. He's been on a hot streak the last little bit here and should be solid and be a nice streaming option for you. Over in Philly, look at Joel Farabee, listed as center left winger, owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues, playing top pairing, second power play unit, and he has 7 points in a 5-game point streak here, plus 4 in those 5 games, also has a power play point and 13 shots on goal. He's on a nice roll and should be a good streaming option in your deeper leagues. Sticking with Philly, look at Noah Cates, listed as center left winger, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit, and he has 6 points in a 4-game point streak, one of those points being on the power play, also thrown 4 hits and 5 blocks in those 4 games. So he's on a small roll, so he should turn out to be solid to okay option in your real deep leagues. Another one in Philly, Scott Lawton, listed as center left winger, owned in 17% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the 4th line right now, second power play unit, and he has 4 points the last 3 games. And in those 3 games, he's plus 4, 7 shots on goal, and 5 hits. He is a little streaky, but he seems to be heating back up, so he could turn out to be an alright streaming option. Another one in Phillies, Morgan Frost, listed as center left winger, owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues, playing third line, second power play unit, and he has 6 points his last 6 games. And in those 6 games, he's plus 4, also thrown 6 hits and 4 blocks in there. He is streaky, so it definitely is risky there, but decent recently, so he'll turn out to be a deep league streaming option. Over in St. Louis, look at Sammy Blais, listed as left winger, right winger, up to 20% owned right now, playing third line, second power play unit, and he has 12 points his last 10 games. And in those 10 games, thrown 44 hits. Definitely throws the body. He's been playing really well of late here. A little bit risky, but could work out for you in some formats. Next one in St. Louis, Jacob Verana, listed as a left winger, owned in 33% of Yahoo leagues, playing third line, second power play unit, and he has 7 points his last 8 games. Again, I'm recording this on Tuesday. He did get one of the goals tonight. That game's still going on. 3 power play points and 23 shots on goal in there. He's been playing better the last little bit here. He's getting more opportunity in St. Louis and should be a good streaming option in your deeper leagues. So that's it for today's episode. If you're watching via YouTube, please remember to hit like, hit subscribe, and remember that notification bell. If you're listening via podcast, please remember to give us a 5-star review. That helps spread the word about this show. And don't forget to check out www.247clash.com. If you do decide to sign up, please remember to use refer code LTC, as that helps us out behind the scenes. Hopefully you guys get into championship week. Good luck, fantasy owners, and we'll talk to you soon.